Oh, fuck!
Well, guys, today is a more touchy subject upon my life in general. Um, and I'm only putting Minecraft because it's a good medium to talk about stuff over. But the main topic is video games saved my life. Um, so yeah, let's get that started. When I was a little kid, everything was fine. My parents, they loved each other, stuff like that, and everything was fine. Normal kid stuff. I mean, parents argued, but that's normal. But eventually it got out of hand, and my mother would scare me into not wanting to be around my dad because she'd either a punish me um or she'd do something. She'd punish me, make me feel bad, scare me, whatever. So it came to a point, one Christmas day, everyone came to my house. My grandfather from my mom's side, who lived in Rhode Island, um, my dad's parents, and that Christmas I remember it specifically because it was Christmas break. We were all at the Christmas tree on Christmas Day, and I had gotten I'd gotten everything I wanted. Pokemon. I I was so excited. I got my Pokemon Blue, my Pokemon Red, and my Pokemon Yellow. And my grandparents bought me the blue. My dad and mom bought me yellow and red. And I was so excited. I had all three versions. Pokemon was the biggest thing out there at the time. And later that Christmas day, my dad had to go to work, which sucked. Yeah. And he pretty much he went to work, and then my grandparents from my dad's side left. I mean, yeah. And then all of a sudden, my mom's like packing, and I'm like, "Where are we going, mom? Like, why are we packing? And she goes, "Whoa, don't worry about it." I was like, "Okay, whatever." So the next thing I know, we're in the car. I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever, a little trip." And then the next thing I know after that is we're leaving, like we're going to an airport. I'm like, "Mom, where are we going?" She's like, "We're going away from home for a little bit." And I was like, "Does Dad know?" She's like, "Yeah, Dad knows, whatever." I'm like, "Okay." I didn't want to leave, but if Dad was okay with it, I wasn't gonna like argue. So what ended up happening was we went to Rhode Island for about 2 months. My dad didn't know where we were, and I missed him a lot, and I even went to school up there for like a week or two before I was like, no, I don't want to be here anymore. And back home, I went to like some private school, and I was like on the honor roll. I was doing good in school and everything too, and um, it was just a horrible experience. Um, I did not like having to be there at all. Like, I don't like Rhode Island. I didn't like what I just miss my dad, right? So we come back down, and my mom decides to apparently, from what I found out later in the future, as I understood more, was that the car loan was about to be up, so we had to bring the car back down, and that's why she showed up. And as soon as she got that taken care of, we ended up going to an aunt. An aunt that lived somewhere else in Florida, but like an hour or two away from where we lived, because I live in Miami, Florida. And we were there for like, I think like 2 weeks. And when I came back, there was a note on the door saying that my dad had gone to live with his parents, which they all lived down here anyway. So, but that there was they weren't he wasn't in the house anymore. I'm like, why, Dad? Like I didn't understand. And then um so eventually, they ended up getting a divorce, which bothered me because I didn't understand anything at that point, um, and yeah, so they eventually both remarried. Um, my stepdad, that's where a lot of the problems started. But my mom, at one point, me and my sister were like playing on the bed, and I had a jump rope for some reason, and I was trying to jump on the bed over her with a jump rope, and I ended up kneeing her in the eye. And next day at camp, because I was with my dad that night. Um, my mom goes, "Did your dad punch her? Did your dad punch her?" And I was like, "No, why? What are you talking about? Like, I did that." She's like, "No, you didn't. Your dad did it." And I'm like, my knee hit her." She's like, "No, you don't know what's going on." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So eventually it's like Department of Children's and Families get involved, which if you don't know what that is, it's like, um, a giant group of, it's people meant to help kids who are going through abuse and other crap like that. But no one was getting abused at the time. And my mom made this big thing out of nothing, which she always does, but whatever. So what ended up happening was, they took me and my sister away from my dad for like a few months. No, like 2 months, a month and a half. I don't know. Damn it. And I was like, I miss my dad, whatever. Eventually, they brought us, back to see him after a long time, like after a long time. And I just was so happy to see him. And, going through all this, a court is supposed to put a child in therapy. So I went to a lot of therapists, and I'm like, this is boring. I don't really need this, whatever. And, I wouldn't talk about anything important because my mom would scare me. She's like, if you say anything about what goes on in our house, you will be punished, whatever. And so I was afraid to say anything ever. But eventually I did start to talk, and that's when she actually got kind of mad. At some point she would make me switch therapists. So like in 1 year I'd have like 4 different therapists when in reality or in life you're supposed to have like 1 or 2 ever. So I ended up in my whole like divorce career, like living through and everything, I probably saw like at least 10 therapists just because she didn't like them at some point. And it was a lot, you could say. And she just didn't want the truth out about her house, that I was abused by my stepdad. Not like sexually or anything. That would be stupid. I wouldn't even be talking about this if that was the case. But like physically, he'd like call me a pussy, try to beat me down, try to like show that he's the man or the authority or whatever. And I'm just like, I was just like a little kid. I was in like 5th grade. I was like 10. I didn't know what the hell was going on. But regardless, it happened, and my mom wouldn't let me see my dad a lot, even on the days that he was supposed to get visitation according to the court and according to the law. But she'd still decided to, fight against that because she's stubborn and always has to have her way. No offense, like most women, but she was just a little bit more psycho than most women. And so one thing that I grew to do, like, just to stay out of trouble, because if I was doing this, no one was bothering me, They would just let me sit there, whatever, and it was video games. And this is where the video game saves my life comes into sort of a play. I I just started playing a lot of games like Sonic or more Pokemon games, like, handheld games. And then, my mom and my stepdad would still fight, and it was a scary experience because there's a lot of times where he threatened to kill me. And playing video games just, it eliminated a lot of it because I'd either be at a friend's house playing video games, or I would just be in my room playing video games and they wouldn't bother me because I'm playing video games, like, he hated me just because, like, I would defend my dad, but if I was playing video games, I wasn't being a nuisance to him. So I just, I tried to avoid that as much as possible. And, there came some points where, my life was on the line. It was saved at the last second, but that's maybe a story for another day if you guys actually want to bother hearing the rest of this. I don't even know if you guys are watching still, but if you are, thank you. But so I started playing Sonic. I got really into like the Chow thing and all the other stuff. Like normal kid stuff. I just wanted to have fun with my life. I didn't want to like worry about getting beat up or killed or whatever. So it comes down to this final night, and there's many more other stories that lead up to this, but I don't even know if you guys are still watching, and if you guys really want to hear the rest of the story, I can post it another time. I'll label it Serious Talk number 2 or whatever. But video games pretty much saved my life because I avoided the the physical abuse and all other stuff. So damn it, go down. Okay. So one night, my stepdad and my mom are arguing, and I'm like, oh, great, they're arguing again. So me and my sister were in the pool, and um, all of a sudden, I'm looking in because we have like see-through back doors, and he pushes her really hard into like this table, and I'm like, okay, they're arguing again. Let me not get into it. I don't want to get in trouble or whatever. So eventually my sister gets called in to take a bath or whatever, and I'm like, okay, let me go in. My mom's like, no, you're not allowed in, because I would always tell my dad what went on in the house, and she didn't like that because, I don't know, she was a control freak and wanted everything her way. So, they got into fights a lot, and, okay. They got into a lot of fights, and, eventually my sister is done with her shower, and my mom lets me come in because I guess the fighting settled down, and they just keep fighting, really. And I go in and I'm like, okay, well, for some reason today I wanted to take a shower with a bath with my underwear on, bathing suit, which is a good thing because my sister just barged in while I was taking a bath and said, "Where's mom? I can't find mom." And I'm like, okay, they're probably arguing or whatever. So there, it turns out they were in the backyard, and they, of course they were arguing. There's no doubt, whatever. She comes back in, and, he's still pissed off. She's whatever about it. And why isn't it letting me place this block? Oh, okay, that's where the thing is. Okay, so, they're still fighting or whatever, and, eventually I'm getting dessert because, I was never a part of this for once. Like, he wasn't pissed at me for once, as far as I knew anyway. And what happened was, I was getting dessert, and I was walking out of the hallway, and I'm like, okay, I got my dessert, gonna go to my room, play video games, whatever. It was like a Monday night, I remember, and my my mom says something, and I'm in the hallway from the kitchen. So I go back, I yell what because I couldn't hear what she said and whatever, and so I went back, and he was looking at me from the outside while smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why are you looking at me? Like, I didn't say that. I shrugged and I said, what? Like, why are you looking at me? But not in like disrespectful way, just like a little kid, like, what I do wrong sort of way. And he barged in. He starts like punching me in the chest. Mind you, I'm like 11 or 12 and super skinny because I was just like one of those like skinny kids that did sports and stuff. And he pretty much said, get on your knees, tell your mom I'm sorry for treating you like a bitch when you're not one. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. And I'm crying there, right? Because like I didn't know what was going on. Like he was like pissed as hell, and he had a history for like wanting to kill me. So I was kind of scared about that too. And he so eventually I did, I said I'm sorry for treating you like a bitch and you're not one, whatever bullshit. And my mom, and then he said kiss the ground or I'll kill you right now. And I was like, oh fuck. So I kissed the ground, and then the dessert I actually had, he threw it because I had it on a counter, and he just threw it at me, but he missed with the plate, and the dessert went everywhere, breaking. And he's like, pick it up, whatever. So I pick it up, and I go to my room, and he had some of his clothes in my closet, so he goes to my closet to take some clothes out for whatever reason. I didn't know what he was doing. So he goes, and he's like, there's this really heavy desk, at least like 100 pounds in my room. Fuck. 80, 100 pounds in my room, and he goes, with one arm, he just tears it all down in one swoop, and I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm scared. And he gets his clothes, whatever. He pulls me out of the room. He says, "Come on, you're gonna show me where your dad lives. I'm gonna take him out, and then you out." And I'm like, "No, I'm not showing you where my dad lives, whatever." And my mom does one courageous thing ever, and she pulls me away, and she's like, "No, I'll give you the address. Don't take him, whatever." So my stepdad actually ends up coming to my house, and my dad's house, and trying to break in, whatever. The police come. He's put in jail, and the next thing I know, I'm living with my dad and not my mom anymore. Which I was very thankful for at the time. But another thing, So video games sort of saved my life in that respect, that like I was kept out of their hair a lot, and it helped me, like, I guess you could say, clear my mind, because I can't tell you how many times I wanted to, like, just kill myself because of so much stress that I've lived through, and like, you know, like, a lot of it wasn't even my fault. Like I always thought as a kid, like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, who did I hurt? What did I do? And you know, playing video games sort of like helped me like realize that, you know, it's not my fault. Like, it just helped me clears my head. It's a relaxing thing, especially something like Minecraft, where you know, I can just clear my head and build stuff, even if it doesn't even make any sense. Like this, this is a home. This is a home. What have I done yet? Nothing. I don't even know what I'm doing at this, but you know what? It's building and it relaxes me, and I I know there's a lot of people like that. You know, like video games. You know, maybe it didn't save their lives, but like it helped them. You know, something like that. And um, that's my story. I live with my dad now. Currently, I go to college. I can't stand my stepmom. I can't stand her at all. I actually hate her. But my dad loves her, and the only reason I don't want her out, or the only reason I don't like fight with her all the time, is because my dad would probably end up regretting me if she left. But I can't stand her because, you know, she plays that stupid stepmom role where she's always right and I'm the asshole or whatever, and he defends her, sort of thing. But you know what? That's okay, because in the end, I have a few things by my side. My girlfriend, who I care for very much. I love her a lot. And then video games that, you know, like Modern Warfare 2, whatever, friends, and then Minecraft. Minecraft is good to just, you know, build, relax. So I guess you could say that Minecraft is sort of like helping me now, because, you know, there's been times where just because of her, and I feel like she took my dad from me, and I believe she still is. You know, it just helps me clear my head, along with, you know, my girlfriend making me feel better. But aside from that, yeah. So that's my video game story. I incorporated Minecraft a little bit. So if you guys listen this far, I'm kind of grateful. My voice is a little raspy because I haven't drank anything, and I did answer a few texts from my girlfriend. But so yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any similar stories, you know, don't be afraid to make a video and post it as a response. I'll gladly accept it if it has anything to do with this, because I know what it's like to be there, and it's not fun at all. Like, it's just not fun at all. If you guys really respond well to this, I will make another video explaining all the stuff I actually went through, because I don't want to make like a 45-minute plus video explaining what happened to me, and then like 3 people watch the whole thing, because I don't know, I would just feel like I let my heart out to a lot of people for no reason. But I don't tell everyone this, obviously. You know, I'm not like an attention grabber or whatever. My girlfriend knows about all this stuff though. Like, she's one of the few people that know, and it doesn't make it any less special telling you guys. But I just wanted to share that, just for anybody else out there with gaming that can relate to my story. And if you know, if you're feeling down, just know that other people have been there. I've been there. And I went from a really bad situation to not another bad situation because of my stepmom, but overall because, like, you know, I'm in college now, which I probably wouldn't have cared for. I probably would have ended up turning to drugs if I had never lived with my dad. So wow, what a lag. So yeah, just letting you guys know that. I hope you guys respond well to this, because I would like to hear feedback, and I know I'm not the only one with problems. So if you have anything, post video response, I'll accept it. You know, people deserve to know how you feel, if it helps you feel better and they're not assholes about it. So thanks guys for listening, if you listen this far, and see you next time.